In a few days, the time has finally come, and the Starfield Direct will be happening on June 11th, a mere 5 months after its initial announcement. In anticipation of the showcase, I've seen a lot of videos talking about everything we know about Starfield. These videos are primarily catered to people who don't know that much about Starfield, but for the people who are already up to date, I'm bringing you everything we don't know about Starfield. Because if we know what information is still missing, we might get a better idea of what will be shown at the Starfield Direct. First is fast travel. With space and space travel being new components in Starfield, it would be weird if you could just skip most of it by fast traveling. The one game I've played that might have a similar travel system to Starfield is No Man's Sky. Here you can warp jump or fast travel between solar systems. But within the solar system you need to manually fly to your destination, which allows you to run into hostile space pirates, mineable asteroids and space stations along the way. I think that in Starfield it will be similar in the sense that you can fast travel between solar systems and then have to actually fly to your destination, but since we can't fly to the planet's surface, in Starfield I think there will be an additional layer of fast travel on the planets themselves. You probably can't fast travel while inside, like in past Bethesda games, but once outside you can fast travel to previously discovered locations on the planet you are on. In the end, these are all just predictions and we will have to wait and see how it turns out. Next are companions. Companions have always been such a staple in Bethesda games, and we haven't even seen one in action. All we know is that we have Vasco, the robot.
How can I be of assistance?
And that companions can speak for you in certain situations. Other than that, there are a lot of questions that still need answering. Like, what differentiates these companions? Do some have special abilities to make them more suitable for certain situations? This also ties into the crew. We don't even really know what the crew is used for yet. We just know that you can have one on your ship and on your different outposts. Another question is, how do you actually get your crew? Does it consist of companions that you have befriended during your playthrough, or are they just random NPCs that you can hire? Staying in the realm of social gameplay systems, we have romance. The only thing that we have had confirmed so far is that there is romance, and that there are 4 companions who you can develop deeper relations with than ever seen before in a Bethesda game. This does leave the question, are these the only romance options? Maybe you can't have deep relationships with other NPCs, but I would like to still be able to romance the nice shopkeeper after helping her out. Kinda like in Skyrim, where there were 67 different options to choose from. Also, we don't know if we can live together and adopt children like in past games. Next, we have religion. From the traits in the character creator, we know there is the Enlightened, the Sanctum Universum and the Worshippers of the Great Serpent. And in earlier promotional material, the Zealots of House Varun were also mentioned. These religions are clearly important, since you can choose an affiliation with one of them at the start of the game. But what role they play in the world is still unknown. My prediction is that there will be some type of conflict between 2 or more religions. Cause like we know from the real world, where there are multiple religions in the same place, there is usually conflict. So I think the religions will be minor factions that feed into some type of subplot. Kind of like in Skyrim, where the return of the dragons was the main problem and the civil war served as a subplot. We also have a couple combat related subjects we need to talk about. The first one is melee combat. We know it's in the game, but we have never even seen a melee weapon, let alone it being used in combat. Questions I would like to see answered are if there will be different types of melee weapons, like 1 or 2-handed, and if there are blocking and dodging mechanics to make combat more interesting. Stealth would also be a great addition to combat in general, but we don't even know if it's in the game, since we have seen no gameplay or perks surrounding it. I am confident that it will be in Starfield, since it has always been a core part of the combat in Bethesda games. We just probably still need to see it. The same with crime. We only know there's lockpicking and pickpocketing, and I assume you will be committing a lot more crimes in Starfield, since there is a whole quote-unquote evil faction you can join. Like, we still need to know what crimes there are, how the guards will react, and what the consequences are. But if you want to know more about that, I recommend you check this video out, cause I made a whole separate video about the crimes in Starfield. Then the last thing we don't know about Starfield is if there will be land vehicles. I feel like this is one of the most wanted features by the community, and unless Bethesda is planning some type of surprise, it's starting to look pretty unlikely, since there has been literally nothing that alludes to the existence of land vehicles in past trailers. To wrap up this video, I would like to throw a couple more predictions out there for the showcase. Of course, a lot of these subjects I've covered so far have a good chance of making it in. And because the presentation will be at least 30 minutes long, I also think there will be 2 separate gameplay sections. One in one of the major cities to show off the scale of them, and also to show things like shops, houses, and more of the dialogue system. The other gameplay section will probably be in space, since at the moment we just don't really know what traveling in space will look like and what things you can come across. Other than that, I'm confident that we will see the custom controller and headset that have been leaked multiple times now. These will probably be revealed alongside a collector's edition for the game. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay up to date on everything Starfield, and let me know in the comments what you want to see in the upcoming Starfield Direct. Then I hope to see you all at the next video.